Okay.
He's got to jump on as well, so that'd be cool. All right, and we are live. And what's up, everybody? It is Craig Harris, the black man in the green chair, and I got my big green drink, so I am late setting up. That's why, as I walked down to the store. But I am back with some more commentary and hopefully joined by 2 or 3 guests here. And right now, I am joined by special guest in Craig's corner, the god of PlayStation, Kratos. Go ahead and shout yourself out, brother.
Hey, everybody. It's your boy J-Dub, a.k.a. Kratos, the god of PlayStation. Kicking it with my man Craig on a beautiful Saturday. And we got a lot of good topics here to discuss, so I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, hopefully they go smooth. And let me give a shout out here to CycleGamer. Hopefully he can join us. He got called into work, but he's got a link sent out to him. And then hopefully Gamer Lives Matter. Everybody had to go in and work a little bit today. I'm trying to squeeze this one in between the Kentucky Derby and some other things. It's Derby Day today. I'm in Lexington, so everything is calm on the Western Front here. Everybody is down in Louisville. But a couple short announcements I'm going to make. I am announcing the making of a PC as I am attempting to build one. I'm going to show it live, or attempt to show it live on online. And so special shout out to you, Mr. Kratos. Kratos was everybody very generous enough to donate a card, and I am extremely ecstatic. That really does help out. And Gamer Lives Matter. He's going to throw in his sense. And Kratos has been very good here with showing me, getting the right motherboard, what to buy to make sure the parts match up. But the PC build is more for people who do not know how to build stuff, who feel like they may not have an opportunity to do things, especially disenfranchised black youth out there just running around. They act, I want something for them to shoot for. And if they see me, and I know what you're going to say, Craig, there's 1,000 people on YouTube or whatever building PCs. And you're right, but there ain't a whole lot of black people doing it. And maybe if somebody sees me doing it, it may make them stop and want to do something different than pick up a rock and throw it at somebody or rob a store. When you have a marketable skill, you can get paid for it. That's something that I think hopefully everybody shoots for. That's why the PC's being built. And, if it were, I may try to turn it on, a damn thing don't work, and you'll see a grown man cry. So, and then again, if I turn it on and it does work, you're going to see a grown man crying again. So either way, you're going to see a grown man cry. So everybody hopefully tune in for that. I'm getting that together, just getting the parts together. And, I guess I got the card. I got the static thing for the wrist. I've got the case. I'm going to order that. As soon as my rent check clears, I'm ordering the case. It's already in my box for Amazon, or the cart, I think it's called. So, and then after that, it'll be the motherboard. Then after that, the camera. Then I'll have 2 steps that I can go ahead and do and at least go ahead and get it all started. So that's my yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Out to you, man, for doing that. It's a good cause and a good thing that you're doing. And yeah, like you said, 1 million other people have it, been doing it, but it only takes, one person to light that fire and inspire somebody. So I'm glad you're doing it.
Well, I appreciate the, the love you're showing for it, and everybody in the gaming community. Just nothing but love. If you want to get in on it, just hit me up on Twitter, and I can tell you how to help, or if you just want to give me a shout out on another podcast, just to tune in, and got something special planned for it, possibly a VR build of it. This, you may see me crying in VR. I mean, you'll imagine that, folks. So, but let's just looking into that. But stay tuned for that, and it's going to be an incremental build. I don't think I will be able to at once. It's just going to cost too much. But that's what it is, folks. We all in the same boat. I'm going to do it a little bit at a time. That way, if I tear it up, I tear it up slow. Shout out to the people in the chat. See, Cycle just joined me, and JD wants to get in here. All right, JD, let me see if I'll try to find you here on YouTube again. But yeah, so Cycle, is that you, my man? He muted his mic. All right. So
okay, yeah.
Yeah, but I see him there. So I will make a warped attempt to find Jay here on YouTube. But let me go ahead with the first topic, and it's one that made the rounds on YouTube.
Hey y'all, I'm here, y'all. I'm just out running, so yeah, okay. Cool.
Understand you? You say to go to work. That's cool. That's cool.
Yep. I just don't want y'all to hear all the noise in the background, but shout out to y'all, and I'll be on here for a quick second, but man, I'm gonna try to stay on as long as I can.
Cool.
All right, that's fine. Well, yeah. While you're on here, let me go to a second. So this is open topics. Everybody can bring anything up. My topic is, I got two of them. One's one I'll save till later because it's going to be my favorite one because I have no idea until Kratos has told me something off air. But Cycle, let me ask you, if you're still listening, why in the hell are people online talking about games are going to be 4K 60? Because they keep talking about it on Scorpio when EA, Bungie, the rest of these companies haven't even confirmed Scorpio builds for the consoles. Not confirmed. So do we have any idea, or Kratos, do you want to take that question, or that's an open forum talk right there.
Well, from my perspective, I think it's it's more the Scorpio fans and the fanboys that they know that the Scorpio has the capability of running a lot of games, or it should have the capability of running games at 4K 60 or 4K 30, and I think they're just jumping the gun. I mean, right now a lot of their games are 720p and 900p, and there's just a lot that's 1080p. So it's one of those things. It's like you counting your chickens, before they hatch. But if Digital Foundry and Microsoft, if what they've said come true, then a lot of these games should have that capability. But the whole thing is, if the developers of these games haven't said that, it doesn't matter what Microsoft says or Digital Foundry says. If these developers are not going to code for it and push these systems to the limit, it's just not going to do 4K 60. So I think it's just,
what did they say it was going to do 4K 60?
All of these, basically every game, like the Destiny 2s, the Red Dead Redemptions, and the Battlefronts and all that stuff. They're basically saying all of these games are going to be 4K.
This is what people need to understand. The Xbox fanboys, the Sony fanboys, everybody in general. Like, Microsoft is saying that games that are 900p to 1080p on the original Xbox One potentially have the capability of being 4K on the Scorpio. That's just it. So any game that's like 720 or anything in between, anything between 720 or whatever, is probably not going to hit 4K at all. And the frames per second is not going to change. A game that's built to do 30 frames per second is going to run 30 frames per second on the Scorpio. A game that's built to be 60 frames per second is going to run 60 on the Scorpio. So, for example, if you have a game that's 720p, 60 frames per second, it's probably going to be bumped up a little bit, but it'll be still 60 frames per second. If the game is 1080 30, it's going to probably be 4K 30. If it's 1080 60, it'll be 4K 60. The Scorpio is built as a resolution box. It's not to do anything extra more than that. So
exactly,
well, this is what it is.
Yeah, you've basically told us that before. You've kind of gave your whole spiel about how this technology and what the basically what the Scorpio is going to be doing, and I agree with you 100%.
Yeah,
but but those are talking about pre-existing games. All the new games, such as the Red Dead Redemption, Battlefront, all that stuff, all the new major hitters, all new exclusives or third-party games will be 4K 60. That's what Craig is talking about. These guys are kind of, you just don't know that.
That same principle applies to the future games as well. Yeah. So let's just say if Shadow of Mordor is 1080p, 30 frames per second.
Yeah.
It's likely that it's going to be 4K 30 frames per second on a Scorpio. It's not going to be 4K 60.
Exactly.
It's likely to just be the same thing, because all these games are coming out on the original Xbox as well, right? So
yes, that's
pretty much what's going to happen. Like, if the game's resolution is 720, whatever the new game is, or whatever, 720p, it's not going to be 4K 60 on this Scorpio system.
Exactly. The developers, and that's the thing about it. What it boils down to is the developers. These guys are not going to go up and beyond to code for 2 games for one manufacturer. They are not going to make a Scorpio only version and then turn around and make a Xbox One version.
What's up, podcast?
Hey, how's it going, man?
Hey, what's going on, Jesse? What's happening, man? Yeah, what's going down about 3. What's happening now?
Nothing much, man. I want to chime in on what my man Kratos just said. Basically, what he said is absolutely 100% because think about it. When I saw the Scorpio reveal, I was like, okay, what the fuck? Great. I can just build a gaming PC, run circles around this shit, be done with it. Because when I looked at the reference video card for it, it is basically a Radeon 480. It's basically been upclocked. That's all it is. So when I did a side-by-side spec comparison, paper comparison now of the Pro and the Scorpio, there really isn't that much difference. It might have 100-something gigs more that it can move, but at the same time, it's not really all that super much when you look at it. Because if it was really a whole lot, I mean, it's got 40 compute units, and the PS Pro has 36. It's only 4 compute units more, so that's kind of, in a way, it's kind of negligible. But to back up what Jay was saying and what Cycle was saying, developers aren't going to make 2 versions of the game, because if you make 2 versions of the game, that's actually going to cost you more money. You know what I'm saying? I mean, hell, AAA games are kind of expensive as it is anyway, even though some of them tend to be straight bullshit. But the fact of the matter is that, I mean, yeah, Microsoft has a Scorpio, but this is the thing. You can have all the power in the world, but if you ain't got no games around that platform, you ain't got no games around that platform. That's all there is to it. And when you think about console, can y'all hear me all right?
Yeah, we hear you.
And when you look at console gaming isn't necessarily about power. I mean, power is nice to have, but it's not necessarily the main thing that drives console gaming. Gaming is what drives console gamers. Now, if you want power, you build yourself a nice PC that does everything, and you just have a heyday with it. That's all. That's all right there.
Now, I'm not going to take anything away from the Scorpio because, for Xbox, it's a powerful console. It's 6 teraflops. I'm not going to deny that. But what I will say is, if the developers decide to take advantage of it, we should see some great looking games on it. I guess the $1 million question is, how much better will it look on Scorpio than the Pro? That's the proof's in the pudding on that.
Now,
I
think the first party I think the Sony's first party games are going, not to interrupt you there, are going to still look like their first party games. I mean, I have no idea about the multi-plat games because there's no, like you said, is there going to be that big of a difference? And also, with that said, this is for the panel, for you, J-Dub. Why is there's this underlying current, I don't know if you feel it, that people are going to just leave the PlayStation ecosystem and go to the Scorpio. Like this stuff, we're done with this because of the multi-plat games, which leads me into the whole, why do people think that multi-plat games are going to carry a system when it's the exclusive games that drive your sales, period. It's exclusive. It's exclusivity. Think about Facebook when you used to have an edu at the end of your thing. Exclusivity, So,
well,
this is just my opinion. Let me make that clear.
Yeah.
And
well,
go ahead. I was gonna say I understand why people. I don't understand why people feel that way. The multi-plats run and look better.
Well, you have to realize.
All of a sudden, everybody's in their ecosystem.
Can I run something real quick and then y'all can
go ahead.
And then I got to roll.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's gonna be kind of long, but
no, go ahead.
I'm gonna just cancel and let y'all discuss it. But couple things. Microsoft so these developers are not going to have to make a separate version, a separate Scorpio version. What Microsoft is asking them to do is, and I don't know if they're going to do it or not, but Microsoft is asking them to do is make one game and take that game and make it at its highest setting and then let UWP do all the rest of the work. UWP is supposed to scale all the games down, down throughout their consoles, throughout the S and the original Xbox One. So that's what they're asking them to do. I'm not sure if they're going to do it or not, like I said, but that's what they're going to do. And so, that's what Microsoft wants them to do. And as far as the question you just asked about people thinking that, whatever about the multiplex and stuff like that. If you think about it, I feel like and this is like you said, it's all opinion, but I feel like the multiplex. So most people buy multiplex. I feel like it's us, the hardcore gamers, that look for these exclusives, that look for the Uncharted's and the Last of Us and all that kind of stuff. I don't think the average gamer cares about that. I think the average gamer cares about where's the best place they can play NBA 2K, where can they play Call of Duty, where can they play Battlefield. And and that's just what I think. I think that's what they're looking for. And also the marketing. People, the masses drive to where the marketing is. Like if they're watching Super Bowl and they're watching TV, and everybody's in there watching TV, watching the Super Bowl or whatever, and they see a Call of Duty commercial and they see PlayStation at the end of that, the casual in their mind is PlayStation is the best place to play Call of Duty. So that's where I'm going to go. That's what I'm going to get. I want that console because I think.
I agree.
You still there? All right. Yeah, I don't disagree. Now, but this is all right. This is for everybody again. Okay, you look at the 4 big multiplayer games. There's a lot of multiplayer games coming because Madden's coming, FIFA's coming, all that stuff. And FIFA, if people don't know, one of the biggest selling games in the world is for people that don't. And Microsoft has that marketing deal. But for like Destiny 2 and all that stuff, the cycle you brought up, content. There's going to be more content on the PlayStation first.
Yes.
If Red Dead is going to, let's just say it runs 4K 60 locked. If the DLC comes out 6 months early, and I'm not saying it is, but let's just say it's 6 months early on the PlayStation, which one do you think is going to sell? I mean, seriously. And the same with Call of Duty, the same with Destiny. And I'm not a Destiny guy, but so Jay, let me ask you. Ask you, JD33, let me ask you, which one do you think is going to drive? Cycle makes a good point about casual market, but if you're right, if you're just sitting down watching, hell, I don't know, if you're watching Star Wars Rebels Season 4, which starts in a few months, and you're constantly seeing Star Wars Battlefront 2 footage and it says PlayStation best place to play, which that's what they're saying on the commercials now, so what do you think happens to those people? Do you think they just flock to Scorpio?
You know what? Can you hear me all right?
Hey, sorry, y'all.
Yeah.
Can you hear me okay? Because I'm running the sink water in the background. You hear me all right, Craig? Jay?
Yeah, we hear you.
Yeah. All right, go ahead, man.
Out. You know what? Honestly, here's what I say. This is what I've always said. And I've actually agreed with Dark Cloud on this on numerous occasions. And people don't like to really admit this, but it's kind of a proof in the truth sort of thing. Whichever console has got the most support as in sales and, in people's houses and people are playing and buying the games, that's where these companies are going to stick because they're going to get most of their money and revenue back from those people purchasing their titles on that particular console. Now, much to the Xbox fanboy dumbass delusion, the reason they saying that crap, and I probably might get skewered for saying this, is that as somebody who's played PlayStation over the years and then switched to Xbox and then switched to PC, then went to Xbox for a short period of time, I can tell you this. PlayStation got really good exclusives that people want to play. You know what I'm saying? Now, exclusives may not be the biggest thing to the casual market, but they still move that box. You know what I'm saying? Like Uncharted moves some damn good numbers. Like Nier Automata moves some damn good numbers. You know what I'm saying? But again, it's also about who's got third-party deals. Remember, last generation Xbox 360 had third-party deals. Everybody was on that, even though it was the weaker fucking console. But the thing is, what switched now is that PlayStation has those deals, has that support from third-party, has that exclusive third-party first-hand content that you can get, that you could get on 360. People are going to look at that. People are going to say, which of this is going to hit which console first? And I'm gonna say this about the Scorpio. Scorpio is something that should have been done the first fucking time, and Microsoft would never have had these problems when it came to the whole power gap. But the problem is this: Scorpio's coming out a little too late to kind of matter. You know what I'm saying? Because here's the thing: when you have a base of people that's already got their games on a particular console that they're playing, they're not just gonna up and switch to a new console because of 1 or 2 games coming out for it. They're not gonna do that. You know what I'm saying? And you know, in the case of the Scorpio will have some great potential, but you know what's gonna hold it back? The Xbox One S is gonna hold it the fuck back. So, you know, that's all there is to it, if you ask me.
All right. What about you, Jada?
Well, I agree with him. I do agree with him. Here's the thing, man. Those marketing deals, people might try to downplay them now because you know, it's kind of one-sided. But those things move consoles. I mean, when you looked at the PlayStation 2 Battlefront, when you saw, you know, Darth Vader and the custom controller and stuff like that, everyone wants to go out and pre-order that. Everybody wants to go out and buy that. So it not only sells hardware, but it sells the software for that particular platform. Like you said, when you're looking at the Super Bowl and you're looking at those commercials, there's a reason they spend tens of millions of dollars on those 20-second, 30-second commercials. It's because it's a return on investment. It sells. If it didn't, we wouldn't even have such thing as these deals. I just can't understand that Sony was able to grab all of the big exclusive marketing deals. That means Microsoft couldn't get one, not one of them.
They still have Madden and they have FIFA. I mean, and I think they have World of Tanks too. So it's not like they don't have them. They just
this year. Well, I'm talking about this holiday year. The big 4 games are, you know, the ones that really matter. I'm not discounting FIFA. I know that, but that's going to sell regardless because it's a world sport. So it doesn't matter what platform. You know, I'm going to get it probably on the Switch. So it really doesn't matter from that standpoint. But but when it comes to Red Dead, Battlefront, Call of Duty, and there's like one more.
PlayStation gonna have it.
And Destiny 2, yeah. It's just those 4. Sony have gained the exclusive marketing deal for that, and you can tell how that made the Xbox feel because you had some of the executives out there tweeting, "I can't wait to see how Red Dead, you know, 2 is going to look on the Scorpio, and I can't wait to see how Battlefront," you know, it's stuff like that.
Let me come in behind it. Jay, let me come in behind it because we need to discuss these clowns known as the Xbox executives. Now, the thing that makes me laugh, can y'all hear me all right? Because I'm kind of moving around the house and doing shit.
We hear you perfect.
Okay, the thing that makes me laugh about these Xbox executives is that they spend an inordinate amount of time on Twitter as opposed to sitting their asses down and getting these games out. Like in the case of Scalebound, which was made by the same studio who did Nier Automata. Now, I had an Xbox dude try to tell me that Platinum wanted too much money. No, what it was, Hideki Kamiya was like, "Look, Microsoft, if the game is going to be unveiled, you let me unveil my project. We made the game for you, but it's ultimately my project because I signed off to build my project for your system." Microsoft has a very badass habit of taking other people's shit as they own. I tell you what, go back to 2013. Would you know that Microsoft had a couple of screenshots from Kills on Shadowfall on the Xbox One page, and somebody screen capped that mess, showed it, and Microsoft had to take that down?
I remember that. Yeah, I remember that.
Exactly. That's the reason. That's part of the reason why Microsoft don't really get no love from me no more. Actually, they never really got love because, you know, when you look at all the bullshit that happened in gaming, it's been because of them. They've been the biggest purveyors behind always online multiplayer. Look at what happened to The Division. The Division was one of them games I was going to get. But at the same time, when I saw it, I said, you know what? Screw this game. Because I already know what it is. You always got to be online to play that. The reason why I'm rocking with PlayStation again, going back to my gaming roots, because PlayStation has a lot of single player games like Horizon Zero Dawn, Nier Automata, something that's going to make me play through it multiple times just so I can see the different effects of what I do in the game. Or even probably Mass Effect Andromeda, which I probably will pick up despite the fixing of the facial animations and that crap. But all I'm trying to say is that
her face was tired. Yeah, that's the greatest line ever.
Anyway, so back to what I was saying. Microsoft, the reason why Microsoft released the Scorpio, and I don't care how many Xbox fanboys get mad and crap themselves a new men diaper. Thing is this: the Scorpio was released because Microsoft needed to remain relevant once again. When you have the PlayStation Pro releasing games, and some of those games actually run at higher than frame when you unlock the frame rates, and the Pro is able to do this stuff, and it might not be the most powerful thing out there, that really says something to your competition. It lets your competition know that, hey, y'all screwing up. You know what I'm saying? Because let's be real. Matter of fact, I got into it with a crap gamer Disciple once. He talking about, ESRAM is going to make everything good in the Xbox One. I said, dude, if you know anything about building a PC, if you know anything about bottlenecks, which I have some idea what bottlenecks are, that ESRAM is going to bottleneck everything. Look at the specs in between the one and the damn Project Scorpio. Notice the massive difference. Notice it's using 12 gigs of GDDR5 instead of 8, but 4 of those gigs are going to be for the operating system. Notice how it's got 40 compute units. Notice all the massive things that they've done and how they got rid of that crappy behind ESRAM. There you go. Microsoft released the Scorpio to try to remain relevant because they know Sony been kicking their ass when it comes to products in their houses, how many people buying a PS4, and all them dudes that said PlayStation was going to fail and Nintendo was not going to come back. Look, the Switch is selling like hotcakes. It's actually beating the Pro in Japan from what the last time I saw. So, yeah, Microsoft ain't got no choice but to come out swinging.
Yeah, Jay, let me ask you, that kind of, you was talking about ESRAM, that kind of leads me into the next subject, which is, what the hell is a 1080 Ti? I keep hearing about is 1080 Ti versus, I don't know, let's say like a chip. So is that a NVIDIA thing? Is it?
Yeah, that's the name of NVIDIA's flagship chip. Is the 1080 was the name of their flagship, and then they always come out with specialized versions of that. So it's obviously overclocked. I think a couple more CUs in it, and maybe some faster RAM or maybe a higher amount of RAM. But yeah, so they do that every iteration. They do that every single iteration. Now the TI stands for titanium. It's just it's just a moniker that they use for their deal.
Nice. So it's a lot faster than the 1070 Ti, and then what would be the
you would
equivalent?
Compare it to the 1080. And I wouldn't compare it to a lower model. You have a Mustang GT, and then you have the Shelbys. It's that higher level, but it's still a Mustang, and it's still pretty quick, and it still does the job. It's just you have once you leave this level, you go to that top tier that kind of pushes the envelope, and it adds a supercharger and this and that. That's what you have. But if you have a 1080, a GTX 1080, I personally, from a cost perspective, I wouldn't make that change. I wouldn't sell my card or spend that amount of money to get a TI. It's just because the cost benefit does not help you at all. You would probably do better, if you had a 1070 or a 1060 or something like that, and you plan on upgrading to a flagship. It just makes more sense to go with the TI because it's only going to cost you, I think, like $100 more. But
all right, what about two? Go ahead. I was going to ask a quick question. Go ahead. Go ahead.
But now, what you could do, I think this is what you're about to allude to. If you wanted that performance, what you could do is get you two smaller cards, like two 1070s or two 1060s, and do an SLI configuration and get the same performance.
Okay, so an SLI, that does that help the two talk to each other or share information?
Yes, it evens the load between the two cards and allows it to go a lot faster. That card that you have, Craig, that the AMD card, it's a 295X2. So it has 2 GPUs on it, and they have their own dedicated memory, and it's not SLI, but it's AMD's version of SLI, which is Crossfire. They do the same exact thing. It's just, it's just like one of them call it this and the other one call it that. The same exact thing, except it's all on one card. So you don't have to have 2 separate cards. You have
on one video card. Pretty nice.
Yeah, on one card.
Yeah.
So,
thanks.
No
and again, thanks for that card. Yeah, and it's for everybody that knows, for that PC that I'm attempting to put together on TV, it is Kratos, the god of PlayStation, that donated this card. But I have all these numbers, and Jay was kind of making fun of me the other night on Twitter. We were tweeting back and forth, direct message for everybody. He was like, I was looking at this website on like compatibility points, and I'm like, what the hell is this? Because I'm like, all right, why can't I just put this together and put it in? Kratos was telling me, nah, your parts won't talk to each other. Yeah, it's the numbers. It's the numbers.
Let me comment on this. Like you were saying about, is it the 290 X2?
It's a 295 X2.
295 XT or X2. Basically, like you said, it's Crossfire on one video card because you got 2 GPUs sharing the same printed circuit board and got their own dedicated RAM. When you think about it, that's actually a pretty good idea. And when you think about computing as a whole, and I'm kind of going out there a bit, Moore's law basically states that everything gets smaller. So we're talking about CPUs that are at 14 nanometers, and you can't get those small in the atom. So eventually what's going to happen is that we're going to end up hitting a technology apex, well, a plateau where we can't go any further, and we're going to have to rethink computing itself. When you think about it, I know it's another subject for another time, and I'm a former engineering student, and I haven't done it in a while, but it still lurks around in my crazy ass brain. But I've always said this. As a gamer, it really doesn't matter what platform you play on as long as you enjoy it. But I think the real problem is that when it comes to gaming today, you have a lot of these, and I don't even want to call them hipsters because hipsters aren't a bad thing. You have a lot of these people who say ignorant stuff on YouTube and don't do any research into what they're saying. And, I know this is kind of going back and digging up some old stuff, but, when BGST was hitting hard 2 years ago, a lot of their videos had a lot of opinionated, retarded ass stuff that you could go back with a simple Google search and completely own these guys. Because I told One Stop, I said, man, you need to let me just have you just need to let me alone debate Mooch, Next Gen, Crap Gamer, Tim Dog. I will shut them all the fuck down because one thing
that wasn't the purpose of their channel. Their purpose was to push propaganda. That's exactly what they did.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying.
Exactly.
That's what I'm saying.
It is.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And when you think about that, when you look at gaming, when you look at YouTube gaming as a whole, you do have those people like you, me, and J Dub, the guy of PlayStation, the food, your boy Space Kirk and JD33, and my man with the blue tray, Craig Harris, and our guy Cycle who had to go to work. We try to at least put out rational facts and rational opinion and not jump into the whole fanboy thing. You got other folks who just take this mess to the max. And I'm like, what is this crap? Like, remember the whole thing, Power of the Cloud, how the cloud's supposed to make the Xbox One so much more powerful?
Well, again, but here's the problem with that. Microsoft proper said that Phil Spencer himself said it's more for PC, but his community that said it was going to make it, wherever it was going to make it. I'm thinking, no, that thing can't even run 900p, and it's not strong enough. But we've been using the cloud for years. I mean, every time you save a game, it doesn't matter if you use a PlayStation or an Xbox, it saves to the cloud. Go ahead.
But you know what's bad about the whole thing with the cloud? Because Hey, J-Dub, Craig, do y'all remember this website called Mega Upload back in 2005, 2006?
Oh yeah, I remember that.
I don't
You know what Mega Upload was, right? That was the precursor of the cloud. It was a virtual hard drive where you saved all your data. Dude, I had pictures, stories I wrote. I'll go back to Mega Upload. This shit ain't there no more. That's when I said to myself, fuck you and fuck the virtual hard drive, because if it's not on a physical drive where I can pull my stuff from, I don't freaking need it. I had a guy try to tell me the cloud's great. He was an IT guy. I said, you know what the problem is with the cloud, dude? I said, it is SaaS, software as a service. And I said, you know what happens when we have software as a service? Let's say that software service goes down. You can't use that stuff no more because the service has been terminated. Like Windows for Games Live. I'll never forget, 2014. Xbox fanboys was filling their man drawers, man diapers all over their menopause and stuff, bleeding all over the place. And I never forget, I saw an article. They were basically showing how the cloud wasn't the greatest thing and how Microsoft was closing their flagship service, Games for Windows Live. And you know what's sad about some of those PC games that use that service? If you try to play online now, those games will be bricked. They won't even work.
Yeah, I lost a lot of games, man. Like my flight simulator and stuff like that I used to use. All the stuff that I paid for, man. That stuff is unusable. Microsoft tried to correct it by giving you codes and stuff for when those games were available on Steam. They'd give you some codes that allow you to download it in. But I mean, it took a year and a half for that to happen. So, look, everyone should look at cloud as I would say look at it more as a convenience.
Exactly. That's all it is.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like look at Netflix. Well, yeah, Netflix is really cool. You can stream it, you can do this, but once your internet goes down, you're gonna have to rely on those Blu-ray discs and those DVDs because it's useless without it. And so that's the thing.
Exactly.
This is one reason I refuse to believe that we're ever going to go 100% streaming in regards to games.
We're not going to do that. We're not going to, you know what? I'm going to say this. I don't know what you said. Probably won't be doing that for the next 20 to probably 30 years. We'll probably be old men with grandkids, or me having adopted kids if I ever decide to adopt. We'll be like, wow, remember those days we talked about how games was, and we old as hell, and our kids and grandkids like, ha, you guys are old. Basically, game streaming, like I've said before, I'm a computer guy and I like tech stuff. If you don't have the proper bandwidth, it's not going to do anything. Just like, again, when I looked at the comparison between the Pro and the Scorpio, other than the memory bandwidth, that memory bandwidth speed is more so for VR than anything else. It's not really for games.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Let me move. Let me put on my fanboy hat here and go to the whole PS-5 thing because I was trolling. Because I trolled a couple people about this during the week, and people were getting mad. And I've got the new PS5 coming out with a 3.2 CPU. Of course, I have no idea what that means, but only 5.5 T-flops. So it will be able to do, according to this person, it will be able to do 4K 60 and with HDR and all that kind of good stuff. And it will also deploy the ability to go back in because of a 3.2 CPU, and all PlayStation games will run at 60 T-flop or 60 FPS because I've got too many letters and numbers in my head now. But they run at 60 FPS because of the 3.2 CPU. So you'll be able to run 4K 60, or you'll be able to run 1440p unlocked. What say you, Kratos, with those specs? The PS5 came out with those specs. Would it be more powerful than the Scorpio because it has a bigger CPU now?
Man, that's the dumbest shit I ever heard. I'm gonna just be honest. Seriously, come on, man. Come Come on now. Let's get real about this, guys. Overclocking a CPU from 2.8 to 3.2 or even 3.5 for that matter will barely give you maybe 3 or 4 frames. And you got to realize when it comes to gaming, guys, it's not about the CPU anymore. I hate to say it. With the advancement in GPUs, the developers are throwing everything on the more powerful GPU because it's able to do it much faster. Yes, you still need CPU for the operating system and things like that. But Mark Cerny alluded to that, and he tried to explain it, to a lot of people who fell asleep while he was talking when they were unveiling the PlayStation Pro. But that doesn't, the CPU. I could care less about that. Now, as far as the system, the whole being 5.5 teraflops, that's the dumbest thing ever. Technically, all Sony has to do is release a firmware update that will overclock the memory and the GPU to reach 5.5 teraflops. They could do that.
Will it get hotter? I mean,
of course it's going to get hotter, but we just don't know what type of what the cooling capability of that system is. That's the whole thing. They never reveal what's on the inside. They never touted the GPU and CPU cooler, the vapor stuff. They don't care about basically what's inside the box aesthetically. They focus on the games and the capabilities that you would have and the experiences that you would get out of having that extra power. That was Sony's deal. Come on. If we're gonna bring up the PS5, let's just call it what it is. By the time 2020 comes, 2019, 2020 comes, we're gonna 6 teraflops will probably be nothing. These guys are going to be targeting 10 teraflops around that time, 10 to 12 teraflops. So
But could these specs, I'll interrupt you, could that run 4K? Now, wait a minute. Let me add into the troll I was doing here earlier this week. I said it would have, because it'll be a year or two later, it would have a Vega Ryzen CPU. And now I'm going to start the new troll of 3.2 Navi. With the Navi CPU. If we're going to troll, we
might as well throw it out there. Yeah. I'm gonna take it a step further, Craig. It's gonna have a Titan X, a Titan X2. I'm just gonna make that up out there. They're gonna go back to NVIDIA. It's gonna be a Titan X2. There's gonna be 3 of them. It's gonna be 3 of them.
Okay, so all right, so everybody on Twitter, with me and every day, why the hell not? Drink a couple mint julep, shot of bourbon. This is going to start popping up, and we're just going to let Twitter have it explode. Hashtag Titan on the CPU.
Craig, hold on. Let me interject on this real quick. You've been fucking trolling people.
It was bad. I said 3.2 CPU and 5.5 T-flops, and I even threw in something called a SSD drive. This is the stuff I was seeing on this computer site on stuff you
had you done that bullshit to me, I would have fucking humiliated your damn ass.
I wouldn't care.
SSD is solid state drive. That's a hard drive.
That's fine. It was gonna have it on there. I mean, if you're gonna make up a rumor, just go 2 beat in.
Exactly.
So
I agree.
And let me add, I have stock in AMD, and I know for sure if this is going to happen.
I remember that. Shout out to my man D, the AMD stockholder.
Yeah, if you're gonna just lie and troll, let's just make it like I said. Let's just do it. Let's just do it the best. So we'll go Ryzen.
It's like when your ass broke, you trying to talk to the fine chick. You want to sell her ass a dream and hope the dream lasts. Then when she find out what it is, she threw with your ass. I got you. Yeah. I figured that's how you do it. Yeah. You right.
That's me in a nutshell right there, especially the other part. But no, I just think that to me, if they're able to do it, if they're going to do a PS5, first things first, where the hell did that even come from? Because there's nothing from Sony proper. You know, of course, they're concentrating on their movies now, but there's nothing from Sony that says they're going to even do another system. There's nothing in the wind. Does anybody have any idea where that even started?
Actually, there's a rumor. It's a rumor because think about it. Whenever every time there's like a 4-year gap, there's a 4-year gate pass, I call it. Gate pass. Somebody will come and say, hey, this gonna happen. That's gonna happen. Blah, 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 blah. Sometimes they may actually get a good part of it right. Other times they might be full of complete ass dog shit. But you know, you have to take whenever someone says something, I take it with a grain of salt. Like with them dumbass Xbox talking about Xbox One got the secret sauce. I'm like, what secret sauce are you talking about? I'm like, didn't your dumbass read the white paper? Where in the damn text does it say secret sauce? I don't see that shit nowhere. Stop lying. Stop hating. Play your sub HD ass damn games.
Well, I mean, they were HD. They were just, like you said, they were at 720. That's what Microsoft targeted with the Xbox One. I mean, I get it now. The power narrative, especially, I guess, with the fanboys, that really hurt the Xbox fanboys. I don't care. And shout out to Savage Yoder in the chat. He said he saw me doing the troll and he thought it was funny as hell because I did too. I was just like, hey, if y'all gonna just lie like this, you know, I can lie too.
Craig online trolling people now. It's just damn shame.
Well, it's just the idiots, you know. It's just, you're gonna make shit up. Well, it's gonna go to Twitter now, so you might as well y'all better brace for that. So shout out to my sub to the 50 followers. I guess they're not subs on Twitter, but I just reached a filthy 50 following, so I'm happy with that. Wow, I can't believe that.
Let's give Craig a damn hand for reading the 50 fucking following. I'm happy for you. You know how many followers I got? I don't even know how many followers. I might have about 7.
Well, I got one in every state, you know, but so this is just a rumor that somebody started then, and it just kind of got life of its own. Is that what you guys are saying? So
yeah, we know what it is. It's artificial hype, man, for the Scorpio. A lot of these guys, a lot of it is just artificial.
Okay.
You know, it's just like, hey, you know, think about it. The PlayStation fans, they bring up all the games. They bring up the Spider-Mans, the Days Gone, the God of Wars, and all of those big system sellers there, the exclusives. And you know, it kind of brings everything back to reality when you look on the other side and see those juggernauts of games, and then, you know, you look at your powerful hardware and you say, shit, I wish those games were on this.
Exactly.
That's never gonna happen, but it is what it is.
I'm sorry. Let me go ahead and throw this in there. I think I know the reason why Xbox fanboys are the way they are. They are the way they are because they want Xbox to be PlayStation. And PlayStation is a Japanese company, and Microsoft is an American company. Xbox is never going to be a PlayStation. Xbox fanboys don't like that. They know deep in their heart it's true, but they try to obfuscate the fucking truth by saying, we got Halo Wars 2. Okay, great for you. But let's not forget, 343 came with that dumbass line about us going to war with the Forerunners and us getting bombed back to the Stone Age. And I don't know if you was in that podcast, Craig, but I was asking myself, how the fuck you bomb somebody back to the goddamn Stone Age? That don't make no type of damn sense whatsoever. And, you know, I've actually got some of the Halo fans to realize, man, JD30, I'm like, yeah, how do you bomb somebody back? I mean, when I saw that line in the Game Informer magazine, knew Halo 5 was going to be damn trash. But, again, the Xbox people want the games on PlayStation, but they don't want to buy a PlayStation because they feel that they be leaving their fan base. That's all it is. Basically,
Well, you're not leaving your fan base. You're actually expanding your gaming, collection. You're not leaving base. It's yeah, I agree. Yeah, the main complaint I've seen from them and heard from them is the ones I talked to is they want the same games that are on the PlayStation. They just want those. They thought those games would come to the Xbox, and they didn't. Now, here's the ultimate troll. Savage Yoder said that PS5 will be 16-core Ryzen plus and have a 14 teraflop Navi with 16 gigabytes of HMV2.
That sounds about accurate. That sounds about accurate.
Yeah, that's like the ultimate troll. So somebody should start
$3.99.
$3.99,
Craig.
All
for $3.99.
Tell Savage Yuga to email that shit on, put that shit on Twitter, and see how many angry ass people he get mad as hell.
Yeah, I'm gonna break that on Twitter about right after the Derby, after I've had a couple shots of bourbon, and be like, "Oh yeah, here's your specs for the PS."
Confirmed.
Yeah, confirmed. Yeah.
Confirmed in all caps and all italics and caps. Confirmed, bitches. Confirmed.
All right, let me ask J-Dub here about Mass Effect Andromeda because he's playing it. So I know you're a couple hours in, maybe 2 or 3 hours in. What so far do you feel about the game? As far as do you feel like some of the stuff people have said was a little too much? Do you feel like it was right on par? The experience you're having with it, Mass Effect Andromeda, how's it for you right now?
Honestly, man, I think it was all that nonsense these guys were talking about this game is unfounded to me. I love the game. Right. I'm deep into it. Haven't seen any of the issues that these guys were having. It's a great story. You and I were talking about it.
Tired?
I haven't. None of that stuff has bothered me, and I haven't noticed anything out of the ordinary. I'm playing it on the PlayStation Pro. So I don't know. Maybe maybe they were playing the unpatched Xbox One version or something. I don't know.
Well, I mean, that one was trash. I mean, yeah, I'll tell you this for the people, the ones, if you played through it early, the ones that weren't patched, it was garbage. I mean, that scene where she said my tired, it looked like she had Botox, like her entire, nothing else was moving. It was just weird. But if you saw the one I think you saw, she kind of put her hands over her face and said, my face is tired, like had an emotional response. And that's what's missing.
Yeah.
And for anybody who doesn't know, this
again,
go ahead.
Not anything that I would, even if that was there, is that really worth these guys working on that game to bring us another sequel to a product that we all love? I mean, sometimes, and I'm not taking up for EA or Mass Effect or anything. I just want to bring the conversation to something different because it's like this. We ask these guys to keep giving us these sequels to a lot of these big franchises, and yet we shit on the game before it's even out. I think at the time when it was getting crapped on, it was only on EA Access, meaning you had the inferior version of the game anyway. So you were taking your reviews or previews from something that did not have the latest update. It did not have the latest version of it. So I think we don't realize that we can make or break a game before it comes out, and I think we need to be cautious about that. And we, as gamers, we have to look at the final product. The final product is at the end of the day. When I beat this game, do I feel like I got my $60 worth? And so far it's looking like I am. But we'll see. I think we need to stop it because what you're gonna have is you're gonna have a bunch of games that are getting shit on. They're not gonna get sequels, and then it's kind of like the Xbox right now. You're just gonna be crying because you're only getting the same 3 games year after year.
Do you think we'll get a sequel, or do you think that they're just gonna go with the DLC?
Well,
which I won't give away because you're not far enough into the game. But yeah, do you think sequel or DLC for Mass Effect?
The game just released it, and the price is already. You can get it like 50% off already, so that's very telling of how that game sold. And this is a huge freaking franchise. This is no small franchise, guys.
Yeah, it's my favorite franchise.
Yeah, and for this game to not sell the way that it should have because of and let's face it, let's be honest. A game only gets its one shot, and that's at launch. Nobody is going to go back after a week or two and go and buy a game, that its passion is working fine. I mean, look at No Man's Sky. That game there, it sold out the gate, but within the first week it got shitted on and the sales stopped completely. The guys went, patched everything, added more content, got it all patched up. It's a great game now, but nobody cares. Nobody's going to go to the store and buy that game. And guess what? You're probably not going to get a sequel. Yeah.
Let me come in on this. Now, I had a 360 Slim. It's dead. Fuck that console. Right now, I'm consoleless, but I still follow the games. Mass Effect Andromeda, I more than likely will pick it up because of all the fixes that is done. Because, see, I'm the type of person like this. I don't buy a game at launch. I'll let a game sit out there. I let it mature because I know later it's still going to have support. Just like PC games. It's going to have that support. You know what I'm saying? So I go out and get it for like $25. You know what I'm saying? Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
After all the things have been patched in, I'm like, you know what? If that's the case, then why buy it right off? Because they're gonna patch stuff in. So I will say this in defense of Mass Effect Andromeda. I think Mass Effect Andromeda might get a sequel because of the fact that it is such a huge franchise. You know what I'm saying? And after getting the patch work done to the game, it's massively improved the how the characters emote and stuff like that. Now there might be some issues here and there, but name a game that don't have fucking issues. Halo had issues. You know what I'm saying? Getting stuck to walls. That's happened to me. But the problem is that these people like Ali, all these folks that go out and get an early copy of the game, hence a early copy that has flaws, things that need to be patched, patchwork that needs to be fixed. They review these games and say, hey, this game sucks. But after it's a completely different animal. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, okay, what's that game? Revolution. Now I know Homefront and Revolution is not the greatest game out there. I don't expect it to be.
Yeah.
But I am still looking to get it because Crytek, from playing their games and seeing that body of work they do, they have a damn good way of making shooters pretty damn good. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Hell, these people who gave us the first Far Cry. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So even though Jim Sterling for Jimquisition gave it a fucking 1 out of 10, I'm still gonna play the game because I think. I mean, this is what I say. When it comes to gaming today, gaming needs to be about what you want to play. It doesn't need to be about what the fucking reviewer said. Or I'm not saying the reviews don't matter because they do, but you take the reviews, but you take also what you're interested in want to play. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, for example, Call of Duty Infinite Warfare. That game has so much potential because it was in space, it was future, you had new characters, you had a villain, you had an enemy called the SDF. They really could have went into detail and made it like a 20 to 30-hour game. It really showed you what was going on. You know what I'm saying? And show how war can traumatize people. That's why I don't like Call of Duty because it's very unrealistic. I don't give a fuck what they say. They games unrealistic as shit. My favorite war game I played was Spec Ops The Line because it showed the main character having PTSD and a psychological breakdown as he was going through what he was going through. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I'm sorry if I got off topic, but it's just that when it comes to gaming today, it's all about reviews. It's all about company names, but it's not about the actual product no more. And you have all these assholes on YouTube who call themselves gaming experts because they got flown the fuck out to LA by Ubisoft or fucking EA or even Capcom in some places. And hey, this game is great. Okay, remember Street Fighter 5? Remember how that game was broken as hell? Look at how it is now. That game is still selling. That game is still selling. And I'm saying,
now keep in mind, I'm not telling anybody to buy a broken game. There's a difference between a unplayable broken game versus a game that doesn't have all the content there. Street Fighter 5 is a perfect example. When that game came out, which they told us way ahead of time that, hey guys, it's not going to have this, and this, but we're going to add this stuff, have the characters So we had the expectation. So when Street Fighter 5 dropped, the play mechanics, the fighting, all of that was good. That was spot on. That was not broken. The only issue that they had to get some of their online stuff together. They had to add the arcade mode and stuff like that. That's what they had to add. But that's different. A broken game would be something like E.T. You guys remember E.T. from Atari?
Oh,
the game that single-handedly put the gaming industry almost out of business until Nintendo came and saved it. But this game, you could not beat the game because it wasn't finished. It wasn't. These guys had 6 weeks to make a game for the movie, so they threw something together, and there was just it was just broken. You can't beat the game. You can't do anything in it, and they sold it. So from then on, parents was like, you know what? I'm not buying these games, and that companies would try to get that quick buck and stupid game real quick, even if it's broke, and throw it out there, get the money, and then run off. This is why Nintendo came with the NES, and they had the quality control seal. If you guys look on any of the Nintendo products, it has that seal on the back of it.
Yeah, true. Facts.
And that guarantees you that game will work from start to finish without being broken and unplayable.
Exactly. I remember that whole thing. Life Force, Double Dragon, Mario Brothers 1, 3, all the way down to Ninja Turtles 1, 2, and 3. I remember all that. Yeah, definitely.
Well, Jay, let me ask you real quick. Do you just think, as far as the single player versus multiplayer issue that kind of came up a week or something like that ago, do you think you just had two different ways that people are consuming the way they want to play games? The Sony guys that I've just noticed, on the ones that have been online and stuff like that, those guys are a lot older and they've been playing games, it seems like, a lot longer. And a lot of the Xbox community, they came about at the turn of the online gaming for consoles.
Yes.
You know, when online gaming was not available back, you brought up the Atari 2600. Yeah, I played on that. If you wanted an online experience, you needed a PC to play games like Descent, Diablo, Forsaken.
Yep.
All that kind of stuff. You know, do you just think it's two different? What's your comment on that?
I think you're right. 100%. It's you have two different fan bases, and you know I believe the Xbox fan that would explain a lot. The Xbox fan base is a younger crowd that came about around the time the Xbox, the OG Xbox came out. So you had the online, you know, the Dreamcast and stuff like that. So you had broadband gaming from then. So this is all they've ever known. It's multiplayer games. Yet us, you know, older guys tend to flock towards Sony because they have single player experience, because the majority of our gaming life has been a single player experience. They didn't, you know, at worst, at best, they had a versus mode where you could play with a second controller, but that's it. So we didn't have the online experience for the bulk of our gaming life, and this is why we still require single player experiences.
Right. Now let me ask then. So that, because I remember, and for the people who don't know, you used to be able to do a landline, like, and people would have parties like that. You would bring and then you would hook up a landline to another system, into the same TV, then you would have your buddy right there playing with you, and they would be playing with their own stuff. So that, I remember Duke Nukem and doing all that stuff, LAN parties,
Exactly.
So back in college and stuff like that. So well, let me I tell you what, we've been going for about an hour. I'm gonna kick back and watch, I guess, a little bit of this race, but so that is it. Does anybody have any other open topics? Anybody have anything else they want to add? Anything good and juicy? Good?
I'd like to ask this question just to kind of end the show. Do you guys think this is a make or break E3 for Microsoft? Do you guys think if they bomb, this is it for them? If the Scorpio bombs, that's it for them, or do you think they'll keep on trying?
Me personally, I think they need to knock it out of the park because they're coming with new hardware. So it's if all they're going to say is, hey, look, we can take 1080p games that are optimized and go 4K native with them, that's okay. I agree with what Cycle said. Hey, look, people got to have I can't think of the word I'm looking for. They need to have this. They need to temper their expectations and then let the console be what it is. Sony's problem, on the other hand, is that will their E3 be as good as PSX? So and shout out to Iron Wolf, because we talked about this last night. That's my greatest fear for Sony. It's because PSX was so good that, I'm talking about, you got up off the couch several times like, damn, but that's my opinion. That's Sony is coming in with, they got to show gameplay, and Microsoft has got to just Force Battlefront 2. That's my opinion, though.
Okay.
Hey, Jesse.
All right. This is how I feel about it. The E3 this year. Well. If you really ain't got no games to show in your box, why the fuck do I care? Now, okay, my assholery aside, Microsoft needs to do something at E3 to show people that this is the reason why you want to buy a Scorpio. They need to have games that are a Scorpio build or some new titles that they're pushing. They need to do something, because from every time I've seen a Microsoft E3, if I ever looked at it, it's always been about Xbox Live services, the fucking stupid ass controllers. Oh, we got a new Halo. We have a Call of Duty, blah, 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 but no new games that are really worth the crap. And also, another undoing will be the Xbox E3 if the fucking community don't go out and support these games. I've always said it. If you don't support the games, your games ain't going to do well. They ain't going to have no support, and they're going to stop making them. That's the biggest difference in between PlayStation E3s and Microsoft E3s. When PlayStation does an E3, they show you games. They show you what they're working on. They're trying to say, look, this is a project we got going on, but it's going to be coming out pretty soon. We don't know when. They know how to keep their audience's temper and want more. Microsoft, on the other hand, they go for bombastic, cheap-ass shit. Like, let's see, we're the whole thing with Halo 5. It's all that and all this. My homeboy got the game, massively disappointed by it. So here's what Microsoft needs to do at E3. Get your shit together, show some games, talk about some games, talk about the Scorpio just a little bit, and you should be okay.
All right.
Shareholders aren't gonna allow them not to talk about Scorpion a little bit, because they've spent millions on R&D to make that thing work. So it's just like I said, I make or break as far as console wise. Yeah, it's gonna be tough if they don't get a huge splash on Monday, because like people have said, Sony's gonna come out there Monday afternoon. I don't know if it's at 4:00 time or Eastern time, something like that. And whatever Microsoft just did 24 hours before, they're gonna wipe it out. It's like it's not gonna happen, So it's just, that's what they're coming with. But let me ask. I think that was about it. So we got the good PS5 juicy rumor out of the way. So we got to start the ultimate troll line on Twitter, I guess, just to see what happens. That would be funny as hell.
Troll this
But yeah, it's for fun. Nobody cares. And shout out to the people that came in and watched. Like I said, it's Derby Day, so you should be sipping a mint julep and betting on the ponies. And for the PlayStation thing, bet on the horses. I mean, but yeah. And all right, who here is going to go see Guardians of the Galaxy this weekend?
Yeah, I'm going to go see that tomorrow, man.
Yeah, I think if I can't catch it before 6 tonight, I may wait till Tuesday to go see it.
Ain't got no money right now. I'm on a budget. I'm trying to get my $9 computer from Goodwill. You know, your boy trying to get out of poverty, trying to get back on top of the game again, trying to get a YouTube. Fuck all that. But anyway, I'm probably not going to see Guardians of the Galaxy. I'm probably going to go see Alien Covenant because I like Alien Covenant.
Man, I forgot about that.
Yeah, right. And I probably just get Guardians on Blu-ray whenever I get my black ass back up in the damn game again. But yeah, you know, I mean, just being real, man. I mean, shoot, times is hard, man. You got to get Patreon, you got to get support. That's what I need to do.
Well, yeah, there's been a couple people. Well, there's some other YouTubers in a different part of the community, not the gaming community. They were upset that they can't get people to support them on Patreon. I don't know the difference between that and GoFundMe and PayPal. To me, it just sounds but yeah, I mean, support the people who are entertaining you and things like that. If that's what you need to do, but yeah, so shout out to everybody on Patreon. I'm not for sure how that works, but it is what it is. But Jesse just dropped off. But Kratos, anything in closing before we shut it down here?
Nah, another great episode of Craig's Corner, man, in the books.
Okay, now Savage Yoger said to make sure that we say double TF at 16-bit. So okay, so. All right, so he says this guy in the chat said Disney needs to do 4K. Okay, they're not going to do that because they already know you're going to go buy their stuff.
Yeah.
So Disney does not need to do 4K. Now the Spider-Man movie is coming out. Was it Homecoming?
Yeah.
That might go to 4K because Sony's going to distribute that. So that may be a UHD.
Yeah.
Version of.
I have all the Spider-Man movies and I have them in 4K. On the Ultra 4K, but I want this freaking Star Wars series to be in 4K, and they're not. I had to buy the Rogue One. I had to buy that on regular Blu-ray, so it really kind of sucked. But someone explained to me,
still looks damn good.
No, it does. But it's kind of like, hey, if you got it, you want it to run in the best it possibly can, and so it is what it is. I just still don't understand that why some movies are are allowed to be in 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray and others not. I just really don't understand that.
Oh, well, it's simple that people are going to buy it anyway, and you do not. There's not a whole lot of difference in an Ultra Blu-ray versus a. I mean, I take that by movies like that are a lot of stuff's done at nighttime. So like Batman versus Superman. And when that movie, it was garbage. I mean, it was straight trash. Ghost in the Shell that came out, something like that in UHD, it will look with the HDR. That will look stunning. I mean, that will look absolutely stunning. So
it literally if the movie is mastered in 4K or 8K, and it's down, they down mix it to 4K. Any more labor or amount of work to do that, from what I understand, there's a licensing deal with doing that stuff, and I don't understand it, but I don't know. It's just dumb. That just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, because Disney did Zootopia, the Star Wars movies, and then the Marvel movies, and all of them.
I got all the X-Men, the whole X-Men suite of movies in 4K Blu-ray.
Yeah, and you can get Star Trek in a 4K Blu-ray too, because
I have all of those. Yeah,
I think the Incredible Hulk, both Incredible Hulks through Universal. People got to understand. See, Marvel does not own the Incredible Hulk anymore. Universal owns him, so you can still get some Marvel movies in there. But the Fox stuff, I wouldn't mind going back in and doing that. So with UHD. But when Logan comes out, I will buy that in UHD. I'll tell you that much right now.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But yeah, so it's somebody said that 1080p is better than 4K. No, that's not true. I can tell you that much. It's not. I mean, what you got to understand, at least a movie like Batman versus Superman, where it really helps is that most of that was filmed at night.
Yeah.
So that the 4K pictures with the water hitting and stuff like that, you could actually see in 4K the mist. Not just the hard rain, but the mist coming down. That was actually pretty cool too. So that was actually pretty cool. So no, it's EJ Johnson. I have a 4K. No, I do not have a. That's hopefully what I will have in a few months. That's the goal with the people's PC. So shout out to everybody that's going to be watching me try to build that. That is going to be hilarious. Me trying to build that PC. This everybody's got to bear with me. It's going to take me an hour to probably put the power supply in, even though it just slides right in and 4 things go on. But I'm not very mechanical, so that's going to be a learning experience for me. All right, guys. Well, that's it. Wrapping it up. I agree with you, J-Dub. Yeah, they got to at least get the original Star Wars. Give me that Rogue One. My God, that scene with Darth Vader in the hallway. What can you say? That was one of the greatest scenes of all time.
Exactly.
45 seconds of terror is what I call that scene right there.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, that was a great scene. And we've been waiting on that scene since we were little kids. Since we saw Empire Strikes Back in '82. We've been waiting on that Darth Vader that we saw. So
exactly.
in Rogue One. So, but yeah, that's about it. Wrapping it up. So again, we got the PlayStation 5 rumor train going. Because why the hell not? Because it's just people are just going crazy with it for some reason. I agree with Jay. Single player versus multiplayer. I just think you have 2 different generations that are enjoying the hobby, and they each enjoy it differently. And understand, there's another group of people online, folks, that are playing MMOs. They play nothing but World of Warcraft and StarCraft and all that, the Sid Meier's Civilization games. They don't even give a damn about that stuff that we're just talking about. And, they play their flight sims. And I really miss my flight sims. I love my flight sims on PC. So, but that is really about it. And, yeah, hopefully we will see a strong E3 from everybody. And I mean everybody. And Scorpio with some strong stuff. So I'm sure they will. Give me like I said before, give me a Splinter Cell. Give me a, something. Splinter Cell, something to get me excited. Knights of the Old Republic, something like that. So that'd be cool. But that is it, J-Dub. Go ahead and shout yourself on out. We're going to be closing it down. I think they're going to be lining up the horses here in the gate in about another 15 minutes.
All right. Thanks for that. Thanks for having me, by the way. Everybody, it's your boy J-Dub, a.k.a. Kratos. You can find me on my soon to be launched YouTube channel, but you can also find me on the Greatness Podcast. I duo that with, shout out to the General of PlayStation, Iron Wolf. And you can also hit me up on Twitter at JDubCity16. I'm always chopping it up, keeping it funky, and keeping you guys laughing. So thanks for the invite.
Yeah, no problem. It was a good time. And shout out to CycleGamer for popping in, and know you had to go to work. So, yeah, you got to go ahead and make that money, brother. I understand. And, JD, it's been a while since you've been on one, and I do appreciate hearing from you again. And, Kratos, always a pleasure having you on. Again, thanks for the donation. Big shout out to Gamer Lives Matter. Just follow these guys on Twitter. Follow me on Twitter because I'm literally when this ends, I'm gonna go on Twitter and put that big rumor out there just to see what the hell happens, just to get a good laugh this evening. And but shout out to everybody again. Keep an eye out for the People's PC build. Hopefully that's gonna start happening soon. Got a few more things to gather on my end. So and that'll be it. So that'll be either grown man crying or grown man smiling. Everybody get a good laugh. And again, it's for everybody to hopefully build a skill, and people can save some money maybe in the long run. And if it keeps one knucklehead off the street, saving a life or something like that, that's what this PC is about. So, and I do appreciate anybody who wants to donate or ask about it. be my guest. Hit me up on Twitter. It's no big deal. But that is it. And I'm going to be doing one step at a time. So because I don't want to break nothing or shock myself, and nothing works. But that is it for Craig's Corner, people. Have a good Derby day. Look, the sun has finally come out here in Lexington. Have a good Derby day. And if you get to fight tonight, good fight, and you get your money's worth. This is Craig Harris, black man in the green chair, the big green drink, with the god of PlayStation. Peace out. And that